Hello. Hello, people. We are Sonia.
Crystalline.
And today we are in, where are we?
Dubravkin Put.
Dubravkin Put. So we are in the, not middle, but very close to the middle of Zagreb.
Yeah.
Um,
In a beautiful park.
the park is called Tuškanac.
Is this whole park called Tuškanac?
I think all of that, yeah. It
Oh
goes
yeah, that's
all the way
Tuškanac
down.
is
Yeah.
all that, right?
Yeah.
And-
And Dubravkin Put is this beautiful walkway, and it's also a street.
Yes.
And this is generally where you walk to get to the center.
Yeah. I usually take a little path. This is my daily walk. And so I walk through this park. And so we wanted to do a video here and get out of the house
Yay!
and enjoy the spring.
The spring has very, very quickly turned into summer, in my opinion.
It's so
It
damn
is
hot.
Pretty hot. It's now about 10:30, and I dare say it's what, 28?
I'm
Oh,
sweating.
this doesn't mean anything to you, right? If I say 28
Yeah,
Celsius.
it means something.
Yeah, because you're very clever and educated.
Because I've lived in Europe for a few years, so I know 28 degrees is something like 80 something.
Yeah, well, you see, you say 80, and that doesn't mean anything to me. It's like close to boiling temperature, I suppose.
Okay, so yeah, you're making a really good sense.
So anyways, it's pretty hot after a really, really cold winter. I just want to mention this because it's one of my beefs. 10 days ago, we had the heating on. I mean, I had the heating on in my house. I don't know about you, but my cousins also. Like, it would get so cold still at night
Yeah.
that you needed to heat the house
Yeah.
for 15, 20 minutes that you are not layering up. Like, I would be layering up.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me, where I come from, the moment spring starts, clearly you don't need a heating.
Yes.
And here we've had, we're a month and a half
Into
into
spring.
spring.
Hmm.
No, we're
We're
2
almost
months,
2 months into
the spring, and 10 days ago the heating was on at home.
Yeah, and the weather has really been fluctuating. It's been like really cold in the mornings and hot in the afternoon and then cold at night. And then these amazing thunder and lightning storms that we've had.
Yeah.
Really beautiful, but lots of rain we've had as well. Normally Zagreb is kind of a dry, hot spring or warm spring and hot, but we're getting into summer now and it feels really good. So we wanted to get out
It
of the
feels awesome.
It does. It feels really nice, except I'm a little sweaty. I get tired of being sweaty, and it's already starting, so I'm sweaty, and I'm kind of not liking that so much.
Oh, I really feel for you. Because, this is only the beginning.
I know,
of
this
my
is only the
favorite
beginning.
time of the year. And
This
and
is
I
my
have-
hot Sagittarius friend. She likes the heat. I'm a little bit more of a windy girl. I'm an Aquarius, a little more of an air sign.
Yeah, and we had this is a funny one. I had mentioned that I'm going to go home for the summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, for about 2 months. And so Crystalline assumed that I'm going home very soon. And I still, at 42, and after I don't know how many years of living in the northern hemisphere, summer for me is in December, people. I am going home in December and January. I
freaked out again. This happened to me before. She said, I'm going home for the summer. She was talking about December, and I freaked out, and I thought, oh, well, if you're going home, there's no point in me being here this summer. And she's like, summer for her is December because she's south
But
of the
funny
equator.
how you didn't say it immediately, and then we were in the middle of conversation. She said, well, you will be away from the summer. So you were already making your plans without me.
Well, yes, I'm like, yeah, because
Which
you're
is
going
a good
away.
look. It's a good thing. You will be able to join some of my summer plans, I think. But I would never, ever, ever leave Croatia in the summer, people. There would be
Why?
no point of suffering the winter here and then leave
Oh, yeah, to go to Argentina.
when this starts.
Yeah,
just
no.
to go home for my winter.
Yeah.
Which is a very mild winter, I have to say. Like,
Yeah.
we really are very spoiled. Our winter is a spring in Zagreb.
Yeah. Okay, so then I will be going home for the summer in December because that's clearly what we do in December. We call that summer.
Yeah. Well,
Or I'm going to be like
that
a
is what
duck.
we do. What we do.
And what I'm going to do is be like a duck, and I'm going to fly south for the winter. I'm going to Argentina in the summer.
And you should. You should. I meant to bring that up. Like, if you're going to be a nomad, Buenos Aires should be very high up in your
There
list.
are some
It is an awesome
very
city.
good-looking Argentinian men. The women are clearly beautiful, but I'm really very focused on my libido right now.
I think that this is a great thing that you bring up. For one, because I meant to bring up the dating as a nomad thing.
Oh,
This
yes.
is a big one, and for
is a big
nomadic people or people who are looking into that life. And the other one is because we published our first video, and many friends of mine thought that I was coming out of the closet, baby. That this was my way of announcing to my community of wisdom that I have a new girlfriend. And so it was really funny how
I'm doing my sexy girl dance for you
I'm
right
invited
now.
to a picnic. I'm invited on a picnic on Saturday, and I hope, I know you're a scheduled girl. We have already talked about this, but I wanted to invite you along. But my friend
you.
already assumed you are my plus one, and it was a really funny conversation.
I love it.
It was funny.
I have to say that really, I don't know, for one thing, it excites me that I have someone with whom I'm associated like that closely, that intimately. And I don't mind if people think that I'm lesbian. It doesn't matter. And I kind of don't mind, like, yes. So maybe it's a coincidence, maybe it's a synchronicity, maybe it's the universe telling me something. But my best friend back home, like, I've known her for years, and she also is a Sagittarius. And usually my hair is shaved, and her hair she keeps really short, really blonde. She's a gorgeous woman. She looks like you, just different. Just a gorgeous Sagittarius woman. The two of us walk down the street, and people automatically assume that we are a couple, and I love it. I love it.
I really don't mind it at all, except you were saying you're in the mood for dating, and that might actually, sort of interfere in those plans.
I don't care.
Or get you lots of invitations by girls.
I've gotten a few invitations by girls. Thank you very much. Thank you, because this is not the first time people have. I've been single for so long. People either think that I am lesbian, or they think that I am just, I don't know what they think. Other than that,
I don't know. For me, it has been an enormous relief to turn 40 something. I'm at that stage where people are no longer asking me, when am I going to have a serious relationship or settle down? But in my 30s, it was still hardcore. So I actually appreciate that that people have stopped asking something for which, who has the answer?
yeah.
I mean, who has the answer, guys? Where are you settling down and when?
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, how are you? What do you think of?
Well, hold on a second, because, okay, so I want to know who's asking you when you're going to find a serious relationship?
Well, if I had to generalize, it's people who are settled down, who are in my family, many of them in my family, generally older people than me, but even, I would say when it's people my age, it's generally friends who are married and have kids, and not only women, friends.
Yeah.
Men as well.
Yes. Yes, I find it really...
You didn't have that? You don't get that?
I don't. One of the reasons why I don't get that, though, is because I'm getting it now, right? And the whole reason that I am kind of getting it now is because people don't... I bark at people. I have an inner bulldog. And so when people ask me questions that I don't like, I bark at them. I'll be like, what? Who are you asking? And why? And so that puts people off of asking. They wonder, though. And so what happened was on Sunday I went hiking with a friend that I met here in Zagreb. And he's a really lovely man. And there were going to be a bunch of us that were going to be hiking. And then it ended up being just the two of us. So we went on this hike together, had a really great time. And we took some photos, and I posted one of the photos with all the photos that I take. Now look, I take a lot of photos on Facebook, and cute dog.
I know.
And this one photo, which I've got buried with other photos, somebody has gone out, and now it's getting, it's gotten 50 likes or something crazy like that. And one of my more mature Facebook friends says on the photo, "Oh, is this why you're staying in Croatia longer?" And I'm like, okay, that is not the reason why I'm staying in Croatia. And I barked because I'm really independent. I don't like for people to think that First of all, I don't like people to think that they know me. I don't like for people to think that they figured me out. And I certainly don't want anybody thinking that I've chosen to stay in a place because of a man. All right? This is my weird kind of weird independence thing, you know?
I just had an accident.
What are you doing?
I don't know, but you made me laugh while I was having coffee, which is never. This happens twice a week. Don't worry. But
Wait, is that on your nose too?
maybe because I don't know what I was doing.
Okay, you're good. You're clean though. You got that. You managed to keep your white shirt clean.
I don't know why I even wear white clothes.
Yeah, but you got it. You're
Like,
clean.
I'm pretty clumsy.
You're still clean.
But I do want to say something. You published this photo, and to me, there was not for a split second, did I think this guy might be your interest.
Yes.
Like in that sense. Like I
Yes.
am sure, and we talked about it actually. So I don't want to pretend that this is a new conversation. But I actually thought, oh no, I was not commenting that way. I was away for the weekend, and I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
glad you had fun. And you thought, oh, you too. And I'm like,
Girl, but
no,
that
I
was
don't know.
after. But that
you
was
were
after
in a
50
gorgeous
other
place,
people.
and I love my guy friends, but also conversations with men, because they generally go to totally different places,
Absolutely.
and they move in a frequency that's so different for me than girl talk.
Yep.
And I think that I even mentioned that. No, I didn't mean that way. I didn't mean that way, because I would never see that photo and ever think this guy was your interest. And it has nothing to do with his looks.
Yeah, no.
Very decent looking guy.
He's a decent looking guy. He's
It's
cute.
just,
and he's charming and he's smart. And he's got sex appeal. He's a Pisces. He's got sex appeal.
So, well, maybe we'll put him on a dating site.
But you wouldn't think that he's my life partner. But the point
Yeah,
is,
not
that
at all.
the thing that I would like to talk about, though, maybe if we can get into this, is what it's like to be a single woman in 40s and to be a nomad. And my question for you is, what do you want for a relationship for yourself? Like, I mentioned in our last video that we are, that I'm attracted to you because you're not this person who's tied to a place by her home. Like, this is my house, I own it, I have to live here, I have to stay here. You're able to go where you want to go. You get to choose where in the world you want to be. How does finding a partner factor into that? You're in Croatia. Do you want a Croatian man?
I don't have a preconception of the man I want to be with. Like, you know how there are many women who could say, I will date someone who is whatever race, this height, they must be professional or good readers or whatever. I have no list except that I would like to be with a guy who sees me for who I am.
Yes.
Like, truly, that I have the feeling when he's talking to me, he knows who he's talking to. And that stretches me. You know, I think that the best types of relationships are those relationships with two people effortlessly inspire the other one to be the best version of themselves they can be.
Yeah.
So
Effortlessly, yes.
Effortlessly. I don't say that relationships don't need work. I've been in relationships, they do need work.
Yes.
But I think that there's an aspect of the relationship, just like friendship, needs to be effortless.
Yes.
And I want that person to recognize me for who I am.
Yes.
You know, and to see in me the things that I love about me also, because there are lots of people who see me for things that are definitely traits of mine, but they're not the ones I am most attached to or the ones I have invested in the most.
Yes.
And so I think that definitely someone I'm with will be someone who loves conversation, who is comfortable in any social situation. I am
Yes.
someone, I can be everywhere. Really, I can be talking to someone in the street, or I can be in a gala dinner, and I will feel I'm in my space.
Yes.
I feel comfortable, and I really admire that trait of people. I think you have it. I think most nomads have it because they are constantly stretching their ability to be out of their comfort zone. But I would not be able to be with a guy who feels uncomfortable with my family or my friends, or who is...
Come on.
Yeah.
Well, that would be the antithesis to you, because family and friendship are paramount for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, the thing is, those differences aside, like, you know, if that wasn't an issue, you found a guy. I'm curious about how it would look. Like in my mind, for the last 5 years of my life, I have had the dialogue that says, when I meet the man that I want to be with, like my partner, I will go anywhere in the world for him. There is no doubt I chose this business and the way of running my business. I've chosen my life path based on what my heart feels, and I added the level of mobility to my life plan. I know that I am perfectly capable of taking my business and living anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
And that was super intentional. And now I'm very, very aware that there is a soulmate that is calling me to him. I feel that call. I feel I feel the internal tugging and the internal union of this being. And for me, I am not interested in I'm having trouble right now because I feel like there are two things that are going on. Number one, I do want my home. I want a home. Yeah. But I don't want a home in just anywhere. If I meet a wonderful man and he wants me to live in, I don't know, Chicago, I'm going to have some trouble living in Chicago. Not that there's anything wrong with Chicago, but I'm a girl who loves Europe, and I'm a girl who probably can't deal with that really bitter snow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just feeling like I know who I am, and I know that the man who pulls me is going to have a strong connection to Europe. And, you know, I feel like he's an artist. I feel that in my bones.
What's so beautiful? I love that you have such certainty. I have none of that. Mm-hmm. But where I agree with you is that for love, I would move it anywhere.
Yes.
And I think I wrote it precisely in our community the other day. For me, I am a very weird nomad because I move to places of belonging. I move by affection.
Yes.
I am not roaming the world.
Yes.
If I've done a lot of traveling by myself and I loved it, especially in my 20s. I grew up in a very crowded home and I needed that space for myself, and traveling gave me that silence.
Yes.
But I have so many spaces to be with myself now that I'd rather travel with friends to a place I know well than to travel to the most exotic, luxurious destination by myself.
Yes.
Because I have that luxury in the living room here.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I'm with myself all the time.
The luxury of space. Yeah, for sure.
But in terms of men and settling down, I have known for years now that if I fall in love, and if it is love, I will go to Greenland. I don't care. I would even live in Antarctica, which is
Greenland?
cold, and I hate cold, but this guy would have my back. I mean, they would be
he
able
would
to persuade me to go there, right? Like, yeah. So, but I agree there because it's because you need to be where your heart is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And although there's always that pull, of you know, my heart is everywhere. It's a bit scattered, and I think that has been my biggest challenge as a nomad.
Yes.
Because I'm not someone who's running away from anywhere. I actually want to go back to all these places.
Oh my God, you are someone who is not running away for sure. I'm more of a runawayer, but you don't.
Well, but I started my nomadic, if you want, life in 2003.
Yeah.
So do I have a few years on you, about a few years of experience?
As a nomad?
Yeah.
Well, I was certainly, I lived in Paris in 2003, so I left the U.S. to move to Paris.
Oh, also like
in
me,
2000
ages ago. Yeah.
Oh, 2003, that was when you moved?
Yeah.
Me
to
too!
China. I went to China for 6 months, but I stayed 5 years, people. So
Wow!
That's me.
Okay, that's really cool. I didn't realize we had that date in common. That's very cool.
You see?
Yeah.
More.
2003. Okay, yes, wonderful. That's
so
very cool.
I thought that yours was more recent.
It is more recent, but I've been a traveler for a long time. But I lived in Paris for 2 years, so that was very much intentional. I knew what I was doing. I used school as the reason, but I knew that I just wanted to live in Paris, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. So I'm like, I'm gonna pay a really high school price, like for education, I don't care. I'm going to live in Paris.
Yeah.
And I don't regret a bit of it. Best move I've ever made. Just
Yeah.
saying.
So anyways, yeah, for me it will be where the heart is. If I fall in love with a man who is office bound, who needs to be somewhere specific,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, like, you know, the only thing that I don't know this for certain, but that I wish the guy I fall in love with actually has kids. I would love for someone to have already gone
Wow.
through whatever experience they had, but that they are family oriented.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is really cool because I would never make that choice.
I'm not saying
I mean, I wouldn't make
babies.
that choice. I'm not saying I wouldn't make that choice if my partner has kids, which he probably will, because he would be a grounded person. Not that people who are childless are not grounded, but I do see him as being really grounded, so I wouldn't rule out that there would be children. But you said that you would love for him to have kids,
Yeah.
meaning that you kind of are attracted to that, and you
Yeah.
kind of like would love that.
Guys, I'm an educator. For me, it's huge, and also how people manifest in how they are raising their kids is so revealing, right? Like to you, maybe you see it in another level, their energy, you know, their horoscope or their sign, and then you feel and can take in so many other attributes, and those to me manifest in how people relate to others,
Yes.
and especially how they relate to their kids. And
Yes.
I'm not saying babies, like I don't want to be changing somebody else's kids' diapers,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
definitely grown kids, or
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want to say grandkids. I have a tendency to date younger guys than me, so
Yeah.
but definitely no. That would be a plus. And in that sense, I understand someone who would be geographically bound
Yes.
if they have kids. You know, I once went on a date with this guy, and throughout the date, I can't remember where we were, but I think Shanghai. And throughout the date, he was
How
talking
cool
about
was that? Dating in Shanghai?
he was talking about this nomadic life and this adventure and whatever, and then he mentioned he had a 13-year-old boy back home, and he had not seen him for 11 months, and the way he referred to that, and I do think that we have a responsibility to follow our dreams and our passions, and we have to commit to our own growth.
Yeah.
But, and maybe the reason why I never became a mom, among many other reasons,
Same
once
here.
you have kids, I do think that there's a period of your kid's life when those dreams and passions of yours don't need to be muted, but they definitely need to adapt to the circumstance.
Yeah.
So, and I tried to bring this up in conversation, but this guy was very aloof and very detached, and really his attitude was like, I am super cool because I'm going for my thing regardless. And I think that scars a boy.
Oh my
So,
God, that feels really
you know,
heartbreaking
my,
to me.
my dad chose to be a nomad, and here I am, 13-year-old, a boy. The moment when you start needing that reference in your life,
Yeah.
and someone who is so detached. So I'm not passing here a moral judgment, but for me it was very revealing that our attitudes towards relationships or those types of relationships are not the same.
Yes.
And that I cannot feel comfortable with.
Yeah, and I would totally agree with you. Look, I'm very open, and not to be judgmental. I am a little judgmental, but I don't. My judgment means nothing. It's my opinion.
We're
It means,
critical,
yeah,
I'd say.
yeah. And I just feel like that would be. I know.
Sorry.
It's just the manifestation of beautiful beings.
I am just happy that you did not stand up and start jogging.
I could have. I
Thanks
thought
for
about
that.
it. I have to say, my mind left the conversation for 2 minutes as I watched his lovely legs and those bright orange shoes come jogging up the way. It's hard.
Yeah,
Sorry,
but
so my-
dating, I have dated everywhere.
But wait, sorry, I didn't finish my point.
Sorry.
Sorry. The point is that I don't mean to be judgmental, but I think it really sucks to follow your heart and leave your kid behind. It seems to me that there can be some kind of way to integrate the two.
Yeah.
You know, I would, and look, I'm not a parent, okay, just given my disclaimers here, no judgment involved, but as somebody who has been kind of an abandoned child, you know, on more than one occasion, it would have been really great if, like, my natural father had acted like I gave a shit. It would have been really, really good for me. It would have been.
Yeah,
It would
I
have
love
changed
how
my
you
whole
put it.
fucking destiny if my natural father would act like he gave a shit about me. Battery's running out. We gotta run. We gotta end. We're gonna have to end.
This is the outdoors.
This is the outdoors.
Yeah.
But so we have it on still on this camera. So
Yeah.
actually we're pretty good. So the point is though, I feel like it's really very cool that you're wanting to bring in parenthood, you know, and you don't have to be the parent. You're willing to nurture, love, and
Yeah.
support a man who has children and the children of that man. I
Yeah,
think that's
and
wonderful.
probably, mind you, I'm going to go a bit beyond that. And the mother of the kids, because if she is still
Yeah, of course.
alive, I think a mom and a dad are both very much in the picture of their kids' life. So I have not dated many guys who have I have not been in full-blown relationships with many guys who have exes who are in the picture, but where I've been, I'm not the one who adds conflict. I'm normally the one who's
Sure.
telling the guy, look, be fair, right? Like she has the kids
Yeah.
5 evenings, 5 nights every week, and you know, I don't know, just to bring at least that other perspective. But
Absolutely.
I'm not conflicted, I would say.
Yes.
So I'm happy to bring that on. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing. And you know, as far as being a nomad and dating, some of us have to look at the reasons why we're nomadic, and for some people it's important, for others it's not. For me, it's really important. One of the reasons, there are a number of reasons why I'm nomadic. One of the reasons why I am nomadic is because I have had, once upon a time, I had fear of being in community. So running away and escaping community was an important thing for me to find solace, to find closure on painful events from my past. So part of my, the real nomadic journey for me began when my mother died in 2013. She died in November of 2013. And I had the feeling of wanting to be done with the city of Los Angeles, wanting to be done with the United States, wanting to be done with the mother stuff. I just wanted to be done, you know? And now, I needed that as a part of my own healing. I needed that because there was a part of me that felt like society, the society in which I lived, was not supportive of me. I did not feel loved. I did not feel appreciated. I felt wrong. And so I went on this journey around the world, and I needed to find the love within. It wasn't the society that was pushing me away. It was me inside of me that was pushing me away. It was me who didn't support myself. It was me who didn't have faith in me. It was me who was always blaming me for all the ills of the world. So being a nomad took me on a journey that led me run away from people. I didn't email my family for 2 years. Even after my mom died, I was out of touch with everyone for as long as I possibly could be. And then I found myself, and once I found myself, I was surrounded by real love, by real love, you know, like a real sense of belonging in here. But that's only after having gone through the dark night of the soul and having like kind of risen to the occasion on behalf of myself. Now I feel like I want community. Now I want to be a part of. Now I want a partner. You know, now I want a friend. Now I can be a friend. I want to know who my friend is.
The science says that you cannot have it with others until you have it for yourself.
That's
right?
what's said,
So
yeah, for sure.
I was reading recently, well, one of the people who says this beautifully is Brené Brown.
Yes.
She studies vulnerability, trust, and,
Yeah.
and she disintegrates all of these things that become such big words that we cannot really explain what they are. But in a talk that's called The Anatomy of Trust, I
Yes.
don't know if you've seen it, but
I
it's
have.
brilliant how she dissects everything that makes trust. And
Yeah.
there's a moment when she says, okay, you cannot do it for others when you're not doing it for yourself.
Absolutely,
right? So
yeah.
how she was saying, I don't ask people for help if they don't know how to ask for help either.
Yes.
Because, I don't know, she says it beautiful. I don't want to go deep into it now, but I do realize why would that have happened or how it happened. And I'm sure you're not even surprised about it, right?
No, I'm not surprised.
Right.
I mean, this is what I teach. This is what my coaching work is about. It's like finding that love and that trust within. You can't be fully in trust without knowing yourself.
Yeah, for me it was my discovery. For one, my nomadic life was not deliberate. It's not something I planned. I just accepted a gig in Shanghai for 6 months. Right? That was me. Okay, yeah, I will go to Shanghai for 6 months then. And then finding that I had been a traveler before, but being in China, there was a double combination. First, being away from home. That was huge for me because I am so much a person of my people that I had never created the distance of saying, okay, who am I when I am stripped of all of these layers of identity? Yes. Who am I? Like when it's only purely me, regardless of the fact that all these people and my places have made my identity. I don't know if I can explain it properly, but there was a total silence. And one of the things that I feel socially is the most exciting about meeting foreign people and being away from your place is that when you stay local and you only meet local people, it is very natural because our brain works that way. It's not because of the people per se that I can feel lots of information about you without really knowing you.
Oh, sure.
Just by knowing what neighborhood you grew up in, what school you went to, what car your family had,
right?
The accent you speak with, all of these things give information about you that make people make assumptions. And to me, what was liberating about Shanghai was, okay, this is truly me. These people are truly discovering who I am from scratch.
Yes.
And that had not happened ever, probably.
Yes. Is that why you stayed
Ever.
longer? Like your stay kept extending and extending?
I did not, so that was the first big thing in Shanghai. And the other one was the combination of where I was. I came to a place where everything was happening and anything could be done. And so that's what made me think, if I find a job that I would love to do and I will feel proud of, then I will stay for a year.
Oh, wow.
And that job, I found it in a startup school that was the first bilingual international schools that Chinese kids could attend.
Wow.
If they didn't have a foreign passport. So talk about a startup close to my heart.
This is what I'm talking about. Yes.
And so I cannot say that the most defining things that have happened in my life I chased.
Right.
They happened, and maybe my merit is that I could see them. That they didn't sound bizarre, or that I didn't say no to something that opened a very big door after.
That's it.
But I did not say, okay, I need to leave Buenos Aires. And even this last time I left home, it was also, I waited to leave. When I felt like leaving, a friend of mine told me, it's not okay to leave until it is okay to stay. I had just broken a very long relationship. And I felt,
that's
okay,
powerful.
I have been in Buenos Aires for a long time. That friend of mine, maybe we'll talk about him sometime, but he said, it is not okay to leave until it is okay to stay. That's how you know you're not running away. Deal with whatever shit you're dealing with here in the context where it is most painful.
This is so wonderful. I'm going to chime in on that because when I got ready to come to, after Mom died, I traveled for a year and then I was called back to LA and I was like, I did not want to go back. I went back kicking and screaming. And when I went back, I decided that I'm going to just throw myself into it, and I recreated some things, recreated a community, found community, loved the place where I was living, thought, okay, I could live here, I could stay here. And then I found a lot of love. And then I said, wow, I have a lot of love here. I'm building something and now I'm leaving because I feel like I'm done. I'm building here. It's not going to be the solid foundation that I want. It's not going to be the big thing that I truly want, but I could stay here. I think you're right. I
And
think
you could
that's
go
why
back, right?
I could go back.
That's
but
the
I
thing
don't want to
also.
go back, but I could go
Even
back.
when you don't want to, I think that also that nomadic life, I don't know, my experience of nomadic life is that it has strengthened my sense of belonging with each of the places where I feel I belong. It has not, I'm not a detached person. In
Yes.
fact, the people who know me well always find that this is a paradox of my character. How can I be so close to the people I'm close with and choose to spend most of my time far from them?
Yes.
And
Yes.
and I think that part of the reason is you cannot fully come back ever.
Yes.
I mean, you can come back for a visit. I could be in Argentina for 5 years. I don't even discard that I will live in Buenos Aires again. But there's that, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But I think that it may be that you need to have that community and feel this is something I have. I am not
Yes.
losing it in order to be able to.
I needed to feel
Get away.
safe, like I was accepted. To think that I'm only accepted in Europe, and this comes up a lot for people who are of African American descent. There's a feeling in the African American community that we, as brown-skinned people, are not appreciated in America. So then we go to.
I wonder why you have that feeling.
I wonder why. I wonder why. I wonder why black people are so paranoid. Yeah, because
Okay.
yeah. So I wonder why black people are so paranoid. and we're not paranoid. It's because we are raised in a community that, not in a community, in a country. What is that crawling on you? That is so funny being out here in nature filming. It's like all of a sudden
Guys,
you've got
there
all
are
the
bugs around us.
We got bugs all around us. But yes, so there's this idea that we're not welcome in America, and we go to Europe, and that was really big, like during the jazz era, when black Americans would come to places like France and Italy, and there'd be this welcoming kind of this welcoming of your differentness, this welcoming of your art, which is an expression of yourself, this welcoming of your story. If you're a storyteller, if you're writing plays, a playwright, a novelist, you could show up in a place like Paris, which was thriving, and you would find people that were embracing you. So all of a sudden, there's this new kind of paradigm that's like, okay, we're not accepted in America, but in Europe we're really well embraced, And so for me, it was really, my grandparents lived in Europe during the war. Well, after the war, my family was stationed there. My aunt or uncle was born in Germany or whatever, and the whole family kind of had this understanding of what it's like to be treated like with respect and dignity outside of your own home country. But then you get home and you're kind of relegated to the back of the bus, and this kind of like segregation and differentiation. You over there, we over here, we don't mix. So as a nomad, that stuck in me in a quiet way. And when I was going out to Europe, when I first went to Europe in my young years, I saw that kind of really great appreciation. People coming up and telling me, white people coming up and telling me how beautiful my brown skin is. That never once happened in the U.S., except by my European husband, who was like, my God, I've never seen anything so pretty. You've got the prettiest skin I've ever seen, Whereas in, the U.S., it's always like, oh, the darker your skin is, the dumber you are. Like, okay,
No, but
who the
also
fuck says
nobody,
that?
even somebody who thinks your skin is beautiful would not dare say it.
They couldn't
because
say
it's
it.
freaking politically incorrect, right?
Yes, it's politically incorrect. Well, I don't know
I'm
about
sorry,
that.
we need to take another break now.
And so it's really challenging, to kind of keep focused. He's got pretty legs.
Yeah, we're going to look like nymphs in our wisdom community. Yeah, sorry.
I would pick the camera up and turn it around, but it's
Because
so
you would all agree, but
inappropriate.
well, we wouldn't. Yeah,
It's
no.
inappropriate.
Also, may I comment that the guy ran backwards looking at us. Now that he's far away, he's already running in the right
Yes,
direction.
I love that.
Because we are pretty too.
Because
dude.
we are pretty too. I love this accent of my girlfriend here. We are pretty too.
My
So-
Argentine accent.
Yes, Argentine accent, which is glorious. So did you get a chance to see Sonia's TED Talk? If you get a chance to check it out, we posted it in the community. Look it up. She gives a really lovely talk at the TEDx event here in Zagreb, which was done just a few weeks ago in May. And really a great talk. The volume's a little funky, so you're going to need to listen to it with headphones. They were having some volume issues around the module that she was given. But if you get a chance, take a look at it, especially if you're an educator, if you work in, with schools or with children, or if you're a teacher of any sort. She gives some really good information about storytelling and what? Yeah. I'm just proud of her, but still, it's a really good talk. You'll get a chance to enjoy it.
Thank you. And I would like, and one of the things I want us to do, not right now, but
Yeah.
in the next few days, is I have a lot of experience dating online.
Yes.
And so I can give you a blurb of each of the different platforms and my
Yes.
experience with it.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, because my favorite one is OkCupid, but in Croatia I would say
Not to do
don't.
that. Yeah, a lot of people have said that in Croatia it doesn't work so well. Yes.
But everywhere else I've tried it, it's damn good.
So I think we probably should go ahead and wrap up, but I just
Yeah.
want to one more last topic, since this has turned out to be about dating. I thought we were going to talk about professional development today, but actually we ended up talking about dating, which I think is really funny.
Well, it's not that we made a plan.
Yeah, I know.
We don't have bullets here, otherwise we would have talked about
I know. We will
professional
have,
development.
We will have some talks that are more organized, because we are able to speak in a really organized and give a lot of good information. We'll do that sometime. But today we had some fun sitting under the trees with the birds and talking about men and watching very cute young men with great legs.
In our defense, some of the cute beings that walked by were dogs, right? We were
Yes,
also
they were
embracing
dogs.
gorgeous and sweet dogs. But you
Yes.
were going to say something about dating.
I was going
maybe.
to say something about Croatian men and why I love it here in Croatia. Okay, so I personally find that Croatian men are okay. And look, I've really been literally all over the world, and I've been hit on by men all over the world. And my favorite place for flirting with men has been here in Croatia.
Really?
Yes, because the men have been really charming, and they've been really talkative, and they've been very friendly. And like last night I was walking home, and some dude, and okay, so you might think this is super obnoxious, but I thought this was really lovable. Some dude says, "Hey, Africa! Africa!" And I said, "Yes, hi." And this is as I'm walking by after a massage, right? It's about 9:30 at night. And he says, "Africa!" And then he starts speaking to me in French. Now, this is a guy who I think is cleaning up the restaurant after he's done. So maybe he's like a custodial worker or janitor, and he's just outside having a cigarette break. And he says to me, "Africa!" And he starts telling me these things in French, but he's got the most beautiful French accent, just really beautifully delivered French. So Croatian men can be really educated. They can be really charming. They always invite you out for coffee, and I like being invited out for coffee. When I was in Spain, a lot of men were just like, "I would like to fuck you. May I fuck you?" And I'm like, okay, look, that's just rude, and no. But invite me out for coffee, at least act
maybe.
like. And then maybe we can talk about that afterward, But still, though, at least give me the coffee thing first. And there are a lot of questions that are asked. People ask me about myself. I like that. Different perspective on Croatian men?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like generalizing.
I don't like generalizing either, but I am telling you my experience
I
here.
will tell you that in Croatia, more than in any other place in the world, I feel guys are a bit intimidated
Really?
by me, my independence, and whatever it
Okay,
else
two
they're
totally
seeing.
different experiences here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. How does that show up?
How does it show up? I don't know. Remember when we were talking about how I was missing someone that I can relate to in a totally same level?
Yes,
I have
understand.
felt that men have been looking at me like this. And
Okay.
no woman wants to be there on a pedestal.
Okay.
Looked at and not touched.
Mm-hmm.
No, this type of thing. I don't know. It's
Where are these men coming from? Like, what kind of men are these? Like, where do you meet them?
well, the ones I'm referring to, I have met online mostly.
Okay.
I haven't. I would have to think if I have ever met a guy who actually then asked me on a date here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. But also, mind you, I've been here for about a year. And for me, it's been about building relationships with my family. Work-wise, it's been, you know how you're feeling that your libido is going in that direction? Mine is all in my work. All. It's, I should even, I don't know. I'm not even going to apologize for saying it. In the past few months, I haven't even been thinking for 1 second I would date this person or not. It's not there.
Yes.
Really, really not there. At other times in my life, and even until 6 or 7 months ago, I was still saying, oh, I'm so ready for love. I have this awesome life. I want to share it with someone. It would be awesome. But right now, nothing. So I really don't know if maybe it's also been my vibe, the fact that I am clearly not open, although I say I am, but that at this point, I
Yes.
see why energetically I would not seem like an available person.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. If your libido is kind of really focused on your work, but I'm not sure that I feel like if you were my client and you were saying, I feel like my libido is all going into my work, I would say why? Like, why are you putting your libido into your work as opposed to considering that there's space for a man? And I would look for signs of wounding, like, are you doing that because you're wounded? Are you focused on your work because you don't want to focus on your heartbreak or the yearning in your heart? Or are there some beliefs that you might be holding? And I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just saying that I would
No,
ask
you're
you.
asking, yeah. No, I've asked myself it also, and not that we have time to go into it, or even maybe that I would go into it right now, but although I did have a very weird experience before, and we don't have time to go into it, but I don't think it's that. I don't think. I have asked myself, you know how when you've been through lots of coaching or therapy, or you're used to asking yourself those questions
Yes.
also, and I journal. And to me it was surprising. I may have been long periods of my life without relationships, but I've never been without a lover. Truly. Ever.
Yep.
This is the
Uh-huh.
first time in my life that I am not going through a hard breakup, and I am not seeing the same guy once a week or twice a week.
Right.
Just, for the cleansing.
That's really interesting.
And so, and it's not that I didn't plan it that way. I have my friend in China that I see regularly, so it's also not that it got to a point where I really don't know where this came from, but I'm embracing it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not questioning it.
I
I just
understand.
question in the sense that I don't want to be distracted if there's an issue that I should be looking at. But in my work, I also, what happened, I'm going to say that this may be part of another conversation, but I manifested my mission last year in October. I actually enunciated it. I used to use my company.
Yes.
My company used to be the excuse where I could come into schools, and when I was given the space, say, look, this is what I work on. We need to strengthen relationships and human skills, and the
Yes.
space for all of this in schools. And since October last year, I said, I'm not hiding behind my company anymore. I was waiting for someone better than me to be saying this so that I can follow. I was waiting for a mentor or for a movement to start, and it's not starting. And I thought, evidently, this idea has grabbed me and chosen me. And so that also demanded not a reinvention, but the putting into paper and ideas and business this mission and passion and expertise,
Yeah.
So it is true. I've also been super busy,
Yes.
and then winter is
No,
never,
and see,
never,
see
ever
that's
my
and
time.
that to me feels like a different answer
Yeah.
than what someone with a broken heart would say.
And-
You
and-
know, I feel like it's a healthy shift of your libido into a real sublimation, but not even a real sublimation. It's just a shift of your creative focus.
Yeah, and mind you, it's not that I have been busy. Actually, until a month or so ago, I was talking to friends and saying, oh, I don't know, I feel I'm stuck somewhere. Like I felt I'm used to having something to show for my work. And until a month ago, I was feeling, what have I been doing? Like I truly was feeling I have nothing to show for my effort, and I could not identify my effort because work to me seldom feels like an effort.
Yes.
And then in the same conversation I would be, well, my TED is next week and I have this lecture
Right,
happening
right.
here and I've been invited to do this and they called me from Tokyo. And then I was like, you know how I told you I was stuck? No, not at all. I think that now is the month, and actually this is the month, when all those things I had been working for actually happened.
Yeah.
And I think there's something, I haven't been, checking my accounts or something that's practical. I've been creating. And that's
Yes.
like giving birth to something. So
I think
I
that's
suppose that's
important.
not a moment when you're feeling expansive in any other way, because it was all about me. You're writing texts for your website and it's,
Yeah.
this is me. So
Yeah.
anyway.
I think it's great though. It feels like it's a really good movement for you.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about it, and maybe it will take me by surprise, which would be great.
Yes.
But maybe not right now, which the tarot said that it's not really about to happen.
Yeah.
But I am not anxious or worried about it. I think that when we feel like we're ready to date, it's a dangerous place for women, because I have seen many of my friends become bitter because that is not happening.
Oh, right.
And I have seen many of my friends start directing their look in a very intense way to that they long for but they don't have, and distracting from
dangerous.
all these other blessings that you do have. And I think that love happens as you're living life.
Absolutely.
People fall in love with people who are in love.
Yes.
So I don't know if you're feeling that craving, because I know you're in love with your life and so you don't need that advice, but anyone
I
who's
do
feeling
need
that
that.
craving, I say go engage in life.
Yeah.
Be more outgoing, but be in the places that make you laugh, that make you glow, because that's where
And
that's where you'll find it.
And I think that this is where our conversation is kind of going overall. It's basically this kind of realization that the self-love is the thing that makes you in love with life.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the reasons why I am attracted to you is because you are in love with your life. It's really clear from the moment I walk into your apartment. It is super clear that you are vivacious. You are present with yourself. You know, we go out. You love being on the street. You get dressed. You feel like you're in love with your body. You know,
Yeah.
like we eat. We feel like that we're in love with the. Were you in love with your milkshake this morning? I made her a smoothie,
Yeah,
a cacao
well-
and banana smoothie this morning.
It was awesome.
We
I was
inhaled
in
it.
love with it. But you know, this thing when we were talking about, well, we have so many topics, guys.
Yeah.
We only open tabs. This never finishes.
Shit,
but
what time is it?
No, but you have a client.
Oh
soon,
my God,
so
yes. Okay, so we have to wrap it up.
We have to wrap up,
But
and
I
we
think
have
that's beautiful
thousand
advice.
conversations, and we will talk more about being in love with your life. And then, if you're not, some good areas where to start with the self-love.
Yes, I think that'll be a
it's,
really good topic for our
yeah.
next conversation, and to
Or
weave
the
in.
next, or the next.
Or the
We'll-
next, or the
we'll
next.
figure it out.
Or maybe even some writing, you know, maybe we'll even share some writing about it if we get inspired. So
Yeah.
awesome. If you have not joined the Sonia and Crystal Lynn's Nomadic Wisdom community, we invite you to do so. There's a link to it somewhere in this video or in the comments or in the post about the comments or something. Join the group and you'll be sure to be in contact with us. Post your opinions about what we've said. Anything that if we say something that inspires you, please let us know in the comments section. If we say something that offends you, please let us know in the comments section.
Yeah.
And we will definitely hop on that and, either apologize or not. Because I got a bulldog up in here.
Maybe she won't apologize. Maybe
I
will.
won't apologize.
Maybe we'll apologize and not mean it.
No, we won't do that.
We don't do that. We're not that type.
You couldn't get either one of us to do that. That's for sure. But still,
No.
though, we do want to hear from you. That's what the Sonia and Crystal Lynn's Nomadic community is all about. And we really look forward to, interacting with you. We're going to do a live event sometime soon. I'm trying to get Sonia to agree to do a live event.
No, I agree. We just we cannot do a live event outside.
Why not? We could do it right here. This could be live right now.
How can it be live if we don't have internet?
I have internet on my phone.
Oh my God. Well, we'll discuss these things in private and let you go for the time being.
Yes, exactly.
Guys, this is super exciting. I'm looking forward to reading your comments, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, sending you big kisses.
Bye bye. You only need to turn one off, right?
Oh, I know.
Okay,
right?
this is the funniest
That's
part
such
of the
a
video for me.
bummer.
Bye.